Hi guys, welcome to another episode of The Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. I'm Nick. So it's Tuesday, time to talk about some new releases for this Friday, November 11th. We got not a huge list this week, just under 500 titles coming out. I got 12 I'm going to talk about today though. There's a bunch of links down below. Make sure you go check those out. Those links for the Vinyl Den Facebook group, for our merch page, for the Spotify and Apple Music weekly playlist that we put together, and also the Patreon page. Make sure you go check all that out. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I release new episodes. Like I said, not a huge week this week. A little under 500 titles coming out. I got 12 on the list, so if there's something I don't talk about on the show today, make sure you drop me a comment down below. Let me know what else you're looking forward to. Sometimes I do kind of miss some of the bigger releases, but I don't know. I think I've gotten pretty good at tracking down a lot of this stuff. I will say also that if you're not able to find any of these in your local record store, I'll drop links down below. You'll be able to pick all these up, at least on Amazon. So, of course, the huge release this week is the Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 releases in the box set that's coming out. So, you can buy these multiple different ways, vinyl-wise. You can get you can buy the 2 LP standard releases on black vinyl for $40 each. You can get the colored vinyl package of the 2 albums for, I think it was like $125 on their website. And then you've got this big super deluxe box set that's going to run you $500, which is definitely a steep price, I think, for it. Did a whole video previously about it. I'm sure there's a whole lot of stuff on YouTube and social media about the price of that package. But anyway, of course, this album was released back in 1991. It's a great album. I've long considered it one of the greatest double albums in music history. Absolutely love this album. I still remember begging my parents to take me to the mall the week this album came out so I could go pick it up on a cassette way back in the day. But anyway, this is the Guns N' Roses' third and fourth studio album. This is remastered from high-res transfers of the original analog tapes. So kind of keep that in mind. I know some people out there have an issue with some of those high-res transfers and don't really like the way they sound, but I don't have a big problem with it. I think that's a fine way to do what they did, just as long as at least they're being transparent about their process and what they're doing. But this includes an updated version of November Rain. They did a whole 50-piece orchestra that they added in to the recording. So I'm definitely interested in checking that one out. The 12 LP Super Deluxe box set also comes with there's 4 albums each for 2 different live shows, one from New York, one from Las Vegas. So I do know some people that are really excited for that Super Deluxe box set. I just couldn't drop the $500, without having some additional material. I know there is additional material out there for the Use Your Illusion albums that has never been officially released. So I would like to see that, of course, added in, but I can't spend that $500 just for those 2 live shows. So I did pre-order the colored vinyl. So definitely looking forward to getting those. This week you've also got Bad Religion. How Can Hell Be Any Worse? This was Bad Religion's debut album from 1982. This is their so this is the 40th anniversary of this release. It's gonna run you $26 online. This was so Bad Religion had done an EP about a year earlier than that, or a year before that. And then when this album came out, this was obviously the beginning of their career. It's probably one of my favorite Bad Religion albums. I wasn't a big Bad Religion fan until within the last few years. I never really checked out a lot of their stuff. I don't really know why, but one of my friends sent me Suffer for my birthday a couple years back on vinyl. And ever since then, I've been getting more and more into their stuff. So definitely, I don't have this on vinyl. It's definitely what I'm going to try to grab this week. This week you got 2 pretty big Tupac releases coming out. I know I don't talk about a lot of rap music on here, even though I am a pretty big fan, especially of Tupac. I love a lot of his stuff. But this is All Eyez On Me, original release back in 1996. It was Tupac's 4th studio album. This is a 4 LP set, by the way. It's going to run you $68 online, so definitely pricey. And but I feel like a lot of Tupac has a couple of these 3 and 4 disc packages that have been released or reissued over the last couple of years that tend to be on the pricier side. I think this is probably one of Tupac's best albums. It has the remix version of California Love on it, which is was a huge track, and All Eyes on Me is packed full of guest appearances from the biggest names in mid '90s rap scene. So it's a really fantastic album, and this was the album that was released just before his death. So it's I think I've already got a copy of this on vinyl. I do have a couple of his stuff. I'm not sure. I don't remember off the top of my head if I have this one or not. But $68, kind of pricey. I'll pick it up if I can find it on sale somewhere. Then this week you've also got the new album from Bruce Springsteen, Only the Strong Survive. This is Bruce's 21st studio album, and this is the interesting thing about this album. It's all a covers album. This is the second covers album that Bruce has done. He had one come out back in 2006. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. This is going to be $33 online. This is kind of cool. It's 15 tracks, and these are all like R&B and soul tracks that Bruce is covering. So it's probably one I won't pick up on vinyl, but I'll definitely stream it and give it a listen. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you know I'm a big jazz guy. I've been a big jazz fan for a long time, but I'm not. I've never really gotten into like say more modern jazz, say like post '70s jazz stuff. But there is a really interesting album coming out this week. This is part of the Blue Note Classic series. This is Charlie Hunter Trio, Bing Bang Bang. It's already $38 online, which is definitely a little bit more pricier than a lot of the other classic series releases have been lately. But this is remastered from the original analog tapes by Kevin Gray. I'm sure it's going to sound fantastic. The interesting thing about this, I've only heard one track off of this. The interesting thing about this is there's a version of Come As You Are by Nirvana on here, which is a really fantastic track. Like I said, it's the only thing I've heard off of this, so I definitely need to kind of go back and check out the rest of the album, but it's definitely one worth checking out this week. You've also got Collective Soul's newest album, Vibrating, being released this week. This came out back in August. I think this is the first time it's been on vinyl. I don't think this has been released previously. When it came out originally, I think it was just on digital and CD. This is Collective Soul's 11th studio album. It's going to be on blue vinyl. I didn't even know this came out back in August. So it's definitely one I need to check out. $24 online. Not the biggest Collective Soul fan. I do love some of their stuff, though. So I'll at least stream it and check it out. This next album is one I'm definitely looking forward to. This is the new album from Dropkick Murphys. This is This Machine Still Kills Fascists. This was released back in September. This is the first time it's been available on vinyl. Previously, when it originally came out, it was just on streaming services and CD. So I've held off listening to it until I can grab it on vinyl because, like I said, I knew it was coming out. The interesting thing about this album, I will say it's going to run you $20 online. It's not a bad price. So this is an all-acoustic album comprised of it's all unreleased lyrics from Woody Guthrie, which is really cool. They teamed up with Woody's daughter, dug through his stuff, found all these unused lyrics, and made this whole album about it. So that's kind of cool. This is the first Dropkick Murphys album since Do or Die back in '98, not to have Al Barr on co-vocals. So he took a hiatus from the band, I think it was just like the middle part of this year. His mother was having some health issues, so he kind of left the band for a little while, and they figured since Al was out, they'd do this acoustic album. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Like I said, $20 online. It's not a bad price. You've also got a reissue of Welcome to the Blue Island by Enuff being reissued this week. This came out back in 2003. It was the band's 10th studio album. It's going to be on blue vinyl. And this was the first album. This is the last album not to have Donnie V as he was one of the co-founders of the band, their lead singer. This is the last album that he was on. It's going to run you $28 online. To be completely honest, I haven't listened to any of Enuff music since the early part of the 90s, like 93, 94, something like that. So I definitely need to go back and kind of revisit a lot of their stuff and check that one out for sure. So an interesting release this week is In With the Out Crowd by Less Than Jake. This is a original release back in 2006. It was the band's 6th studio album. It's going to be on purple vinyl. And the interesting thing is I've seen people getting their pre-orders now for the last 2 weeks, but it's still scheduled for this Friday. So it's I'm not sure why they're releasing certain pre-orders, and it's not in stores. I don't really like when they kind of do that, but whatever. They can do whatever they want with their music, but this is the first time it's been available on vinyl since its original release back in 2006. And a lot of those 2006 pressings, I mean, you can't get one for under $200 or $300. So it's definitely a long-awaited reissue. It's one I'm definitely looking forward to. It's not my favorite Less Than Jake album, but there are some really great tracks on this one. Like I said, $33 online, not a bad price for that album. This week you also got that second Tupac release. This is Makaveli, the Don Killuminati, the 7 Day Theory, released back in 1996. This is a double LP. It's only $38 online, so not bad. This is one I'm definitely going to grab. I love this album. I've loved it since it was originally released. And the cool thing is, Tupac recorded this over a 7-day period in 1996. This has To Live and Die in LA, which is probably my favorite Tupac track. So it's definitely one I'm going to grab this week. And then the last two on the list are both Queen releases. Like I said, last week they released Queen 2. They've released Queen 1 previously. They've done News of the World reissues. I think they've done Day of the Races also recently. But this week you got the Flash Gordon original soundtrack, released back in 1980. It was the band's 9th studio album. And this is one of two soundtracks that the band did. They also did the soundtrack for Highlander back in 86. And this is, I don't know if these are half-speed mastered or not. I know I talked about it last week also with the Queen 2 release, but, I think it was 2011 when they did like a standard release, and then they did the half-speed mastered box set. Some of the stuff that I've seen come out recently have been half-speed mastered, and some have not, so I'm not really sure if either one of these are half-speed mastered, but there's only vocals on 2 tracks on this. If you haven't listened to the Flash Gordon soundtrack, it is it's an interesting listen to. It's not one of my favorite Queen albums. I don't listen to it very often. $24 online, if you are interested in that one. And then the last one on my list, you've got Queen Innuendo coming out, released back in 1991. It was their 14th studio album, and the last one released during Freddie's life. And the interesting thing about Innuendo is I felt like it was more of a return to the harder rock sound that Queen was obviously very famous for, and it's one of my favorite albums of I'd say the post 70s period of Queen. It's going to $30 online, so it's both those Queen releases are fantastic. I've got the Queen box set, so at least I can pass on those. Well, that's all I got for you this week, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. Make sure you drop me a comment down below. I only talked about 12 of those, almost 500 releases, or just under 500 releases. So make sure you let me know what you guys are looking forward to. A bunch of great stuff out there. Some really good stuff I'm looking forward to this week. It might be kind of an expensive week, especially if I pick up both those Tupac releases. But I don't know. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. That's all I got. Until next time, keep on spinning. Peace.